And welcome everyone to another episode of Bangers and Match. My name is Simon Allen. I'm the Dalai Lama of soccer. Today, we're here in beautiful Santa Monica, California at O'Brien's. To my right, Alexi. To my left, FoodBall Harry. And today, a very special guest from the Fox Soccer Channel and the voice of the Seattle Sounders, Keith Costigan. Lads, let's get straight to it. Keith, I'm coughing up feathers, I'm so thirsty. Just get Willie over here. Willie, what's going on, Willie?
How about I start you with some beer?
Your choice, Willie. Get us 4 really good beers. And
I know exactly what to think.
Alright guys, so listen, we're here at O'Brien's. 1994 was a pivotal year in American soccer. A little thing called a World Cup was here on these shores, and I was here. And these guys were smart. The guys who opened up O'Brien's was really smart. 5 months before the World Cup showed up, they opened up this pub.
5 months before
5 months
the World Cup.
And all the Irish expats, the English expats.
I wonder what the hell I was doing.
And we had a big game in that World Cup.
He had a great game against Italy in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So these guys were smart. They knew that all the Irish guys and all the English guys, but there were no English guys in the World Cup, obviously, right?
That was a tough one. Yeah.
Right? So they opened up, and all of them showed up here. And since then, they've been the go-to Irish pub in Los Angeles. I got to tell you, the food is fabulous. You know, it's
the
like
decor's fabulous. I mean, the old school decor.
It's a proper pub, isn't it?
Yeah,
proper pub. Yeah.
I almost think I'm in Waterford somewhere, and like maybe Sean Kelly or John O'Shea's going to walk through the door or something, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to come and have a few pints with us. That's how it is. And you know, Santa Monica's changed, you know, a lot. Gentrified a bit. So now the clientele is so diverse that who knows who you're going to, you know, run into. You could run into me. You run into Keith Costigan, Alexi over there, FoodBall Harry. And Willie, you know, what's going on over here? So the beers are on their way.
There we go.
Oh,
There we
thank
go.
you very
Special
much.
brew for you. Caliber. Non-alcoholic.
Nice.
He's a designated driver.
Non-alcoholic.
Best pint of Guinness in Los Angeles. Craft beers right here. We have a ale aged in bourbon barrels
What a
and
beautiful colour.
a rotating stone IPA.
Very good. Well, why don't we do a little quick cheer before we have one?
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Cheers.
you. So listen, guys, we got obviously the voice of Seattle Sounders here, Keith Costigan, right? And we want to ask him a few questions about what's like.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Calamari.
whoa, what is this? Seattle is a port town, right? And we want to go ahead and essentially, I want to sort of say, so is Liverpool, right? I mean, and Seattle has the most hardcore, arguably most hardcore fans in the US, and so does Liverpool. I mean, it has probably the most hardcore fans in England.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about the similarities between, you know, the fans of these two clubs that you sort of kind of rep?
I mean, for me, look, I grew up supporting Liverpool. You know, a lot of Dublin people. You know, the boat goes from Dublin to Liverpool.
Right.
It was,
that's right.
8 hours overnight. Wasn't always great to get there, but you've always supported Liverpool. But yeah, the minute you learn about Seattle, I start working for the club. It's the fans are similar in the sense that they don't just support the team; they're very proud of their city and everything the city stands for. And inclusion, you know, come as who you are, you're going to be accepted. And that's one of the best things I think you can ask for. I don't think there's a set group with either fans where you have to be a certain way to support this team. And I mean, I think Seattle fits perfectly with the kind of person I am as well.
You're almost like a perfect person to represent both Seattle and Liverpool, because they're just so similar in the aspect of it.
Look, I'm blessed when I got the opportunity. I went up there and I got to walk around the city and just meeting some of the fans and just being inside the stadium. It's incredible.
Big.
Yeah, it's a first class organization. When MLS first started, you know, you had the baby steps. You had the steps in terms of bringing teams in, and some of the stadiums you were playing in weren't quite up to standard. But then all of a sudden, Seattle come in, and I think it was a real game changer. Adrian Hanauer, the owner, said to me last year, had a lot of the new teams, the likes of Atlantic, coming to them and saying, what was your approach? Because they got it right from day one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So to be a part of it is absolutely incredible. And this season hasn't started as well as the last two, but we've seen over the last 2 years, you know,
they could compete.
The year we won it, we lost the opening 3 games as well. So,
did you?
So don't forget about that. Sometimes.
But last year, last season, it was like you had 4 or 5 goals by now, and this season a little bit. Why is it just the sort of like the hangover from losing? What was it?
I think that plays into it a little bit. I think you red card in each of the first 3 games. So you're playing down a man.
Yeah.
Dempsey's been suspended.
Yeah.
Victor Rodriguez not available.
Right.
So Nico missed a couple of games as well, and you had CONCACAF Champions League. So I'm not one, and you talk to Seattle players, they're not ones for making excuses either. When you're out in the field, you represent, you want to win games. But today, Sporting KC 1-1 or 2-2 draw away from home. That's a positive result. Yeah, when you consider the players that weren't available. Yeah. So I love Brian Smetzer. Yeah, the man was born to coach Seattle Sounders. Right. He's Seattle through and through. Yeah. And the players have utmost faith in him. So look, not going well right now, but we can revisit this here if you like. Yes, in a couple of months. I guarantee we're not in the same position.
I want to talk about some of the players on the team. I think Alexi and Harry have a few questions as well. You know, this team is a going to the MLS Cup final team, and not much has changed. You know, obviously one of my favorite players ever to play for Seattle was DeAndre Yevon. He's doing great in Newcastle.
Great ball at the weekend.
Fantastic, right? What sort of young players do you see? I mean, I know we have Jordan Morris there, obviously. What kind of young players are coming through the ranks?
There's a young striker who actually just signed this week for Seattle too. I don't like saying young players' names. Yeah. You can look it up. He just signed this week. He's a US Youth International. Yeah. Wow. I go back a lot, and I was in England last year, and a couple of scouts asked me about him. So really? For me, it was like, okay, I talked to our president and said, hey, this guy is getting traction, not just here, elsewhere. And that's a credit to the job the academy's doing. So I think he's one player that I would look to for coming through. In terms of other players, Calvin Leerdam signed halfway through last season, a young Dutch player, more experienced Dutch player, should I say, has given great
stability, right?
He was with Feyenoord.
Pardon me.
So he's given great stability to that right-hand side. And I think Victor Rodriguez, getting someone in from Spain who's so technically gifted, and when he's on the field, he makes things happen as well. So no Jordan Morris right now. That's been a bit difficult. But watch the space this summer, because there's
I like to go to your back line. And I'm enjoying watching Roman Torres, the Panamanian player, and we're most likely going to see him in the World Cup. So what kind of your perspective, how vital has he been to this team and keeping this team together and moving forward now to excel?
Sure, he's just a presence. If you're around him, he's a bubbly personality. He's dancing in the locker room. You can tell the teammates gravitate towards him. He's a leader.
Yeah, you need guys like that in your team.
Yeah, you do, and sometimes that can help when you're in a bad situation, because it doesn't always help to keep your head down. Sure, you've lost games, but you have to keep focused. You have to keep your head up, and he's one of those guys that just he loves playing. I think they might have built a stadium in his name in Panama because of the heroics getting to the World Cup. I'm so happy for him to play in the World Cup too, by the way. But look, since he's come in from day one, 110% on the field, so much heart. He reminds me of Carragher in terms of the personality that he brings to the back four. Marshall's a great defender.
Chad Marshall. I mean, what a stalwart.
Yeah, Chad is just Mr. Dependable for me. And Roman just complements him well. The personalities may be a little bit different, but they fit perfectly.
I would pick Chad Marshall on any team. I would on any team in the league right now.
Yeah. What about Osvaldo? He's a good DM, isn't he?
Ozzy just came back today, and over the last 6-7 years, you could argue he's the best defensive midfielder in the league. He's dependable, wins possession, good pass for the ball. Has a little nasty streak, which you need at times in games, and he's another one that he's a leader by example. If you're a young player like Christian Roldan who's come up, they see him, you can tell what he means to those players, because they know every week he's a 7 or an 8 out of 10. He never drops that level at all.
So everyone eating their calamari? What do you guys think? I had one. It was let me tell you, this calamari.
I'm more interested in this.
No, I'm having one. This calamari perfectly complements this beer I'm having, by the way. It is so light. It's not oily. It's not fishy. It is a really good taste. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're dipping in any of these sauces, you should really give it an extra go, because I think this is great.
You know what they say about calamari,
What do they say?
They say any establishment you go into, you got to try their calamari. Then you know if it's a good establishment.
Then we know this is a brilliant establishment.
So
right?
I can't wait to see and taste the rest of the food.
Let me ask Keith one final question about Seattle before we get to eating the calamari. Okay. Yes. If you were a new fan to Major League Soccer, right? Yep. And you wanted to support Seattle Sounders. Yep. Give us a sort of a rundown on Matchday. What you have to do, how do you get ready, and how do you get to the stadium, and what do you do there? Give us a sort of a feel of what's going on. Really promote what it's like to be a fan.
Look, this isn't just. I don't want to do an infomercial for Seattle because I work for them, but on game day you get up early, you walk around the city. It is like being in Europe in the sense that you see the jerseys around the city, young and old. Dempsey on the back. Casey Keller I called the games with.
Yeah.
What a great player he was in his
Two
own day.
Tottenham players.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
But I'll walk around and I'll see, you know, a 75-year-old fan with Keller on the back,
wow.
and then a 10-year-old fan with Dempsey on. It's just so great to see. It's really, you have to do that. You have to become a part of that. And then once you're inside the stadium, it's a great, like I said, a great inclusive atmosphere. The fans are behind the team. They're 100% behind this team.
Is it very
particularly this
similar
manager.
to like, you know, Matchday at Liverpool perhaps?
Yeah,
I think it is.
yeah. No, look, Liverpool fans. The minute you go in, I've always, one of the biggest things I've said from a young age, Liverpool have always been the most knowledgeable fans in the league. They always understand, you know, and applaud opposition teams when they play a certain way. And
Definitely.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The funny thing is, though, do you know how many people turn up at the stadium? They have more average attendance records than Everton.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Which is always nice to hear from me.
Yeah, of course.
Well, just one last question, Keith. Really tough one. I was going to ask you to explain, you know, the Seattle weather to people who live in Los Angeles, but that's a bit too easy. So I'll give you a really tough question. So let's say you work, obviously, with Casey Keller, who is an absolute cult legend at Rayo Vallecano.
Yeah.
Really was.
And I really liked watching him when he played for Leicester. I mean, he transformed that team. So my tough question for you is, 10 penalty kicks, you on the spot, Keller in goal, how many would you get past him?
I'm going to answer that in a second, but I'm going to tell you another place that is a legend is Millwall.
That's right.
And they actually had a poll online, and my other really good friend is Tony Warner.
Right.
And they were 1 and 2 on the voting, and Tony sent it, and he said, vote for me. So I sent it to Casey and said, who should I vote for? So I was trying to play the votes off each other. But me against Casey, 10 penalties.
Do him a favour.
Left foot, this left foot,
Back heel.
10 out of 10. He ain't
10 out
stopping
of
any of
10.
them.
Cheers, guys. 10 out of 10 to Gabe. I think we've got Willie's coming in.
Oh, Willie.
Willie, what's going down, mate?
How are we doing, guys?
Oh, this is the best
Very good.
calamari ever.
Excellent.
Thank
what
you
a
so
great one.
much.
Thank you.
So I
for
think
that.
we're ready for some.
Real food, eh?
some
real
pub
food. You
food,
guys
some Irish.
hungry?
Irish breakfast, any good?
It's absolutely fantastic.
You don't have to convince me. Don't twist my arm. I'll take it. What about you, Harry?
I'm gonna have some bangers and mash.
I'm going to go, it's going to sound a little bit ironic, being Irish coming in here. I'm going to have the corned beef and cabbage.
The only non-Irish Irish.
Just give me shepherd's pie and any other extra food you want to give us, I'll have it.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'll take
2
some
beers
fish
and
and
2 foods. Oh, I
Fish
like
and
that.
Some
chips.
extra fish
Of
and
course,
chips.
well done.
Yeah.
You know what, lads? I'm thinking I'm seeing some food coming our way over here.
Is it in your mind or you can actually see
I think
it?
I can see it.
I can smell it. It's so great.
I don't know. Oh, wow. This it's just like if there was a pub in heaven, this would be it.
My wife would be there, but I don't see her.
Look at
Shepherd's
this.
pie.
Oh, shepherd's
Whoa.
pie.
What be
Brown
done?
sauce there for the shepherd's pie.
Wow.
You know what?
HP.
Yeah, do your
It's a wonder we can't function for the rest of
I
the
know.
day.
Yeah, that's
I
what
was
I was
gonna
gonna
say
say.
that. A lot of people in America, they are frightened about this. They're frightened about eating something that's called blood sausage or black pudding. But I got to tell you, you can chew on it and go, it's meat and corn.
Reminds me of home.
It really does. It's something that you
miss
can.
out.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it's perfectly spiced. It's not hard. Like you're gonna get beaten up and your throat's gonna hurt. You have to try it. It is amazing.
Well, you know, I'm gonna dig into this bangers and mash. What are you having there, Alexi?
It's shepherd's pie, classically made. I mean, I love eating shepherd's pie. It's got the potato in it, meat. I'm a potato and meat guy.
It's
What
the
can
real
I say?
deal, shepherd's pie. Right?
Irish food in general was the original comfort food. If you think about everywhere you go in America, they want to give you things that make you feel comfortable. They want to give you things that give you like a warm-hearted feeling. Irish food and pub food was just that. But let's talk about football, shall we? We've got the last 4 teams left in Champions League.
Yep.
We've got a Liverpool guy here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Liverpool. Okay. A lot of people that I've been talking to are saying, well, Liverpool, you know, they don't really have much of a chance against these giants like Bayern Munich, like Real Madrid. What's your take on their chances of, actually reaching the final and winning?
Yeah, well, I think, if you're talking about history, I think Liverpool have to be considered one of the giants of European football
Of course,
as well.
100%.
Look, I spent a week pre-season with Liverpool.
Yeah.
Spent some time with Jurgen Klopp, and we were filming, and we took a little break, and we were having coffee, and I made a comment like, it's just great to be back in Champions League. Always difficult your first year. And he's a funny guy, but he's always straight with you. And he said, why? And I said, well, so many teams that, are difficult to beat. And he says, have you seen my record against big teams? He'd rather win on the front foot. And you heard that about the halftime team talk against against Manchester City in the second leg. Look, if we go out, we're going to go out on the front foot. So I'm not necessarily surprised. I think you've seen the maturation of Liverpool throughout the process. They haven't lost in Champions League yet this year. Even when they drew the games in the group stages, they were the better side in those games.
Right.
And then you add in Virgil van Dijk, and it was the piece that Liverpool were missing.
Absolutely.
A dominant centre back, someone who can organise. I covered his first game. I interviewed him after his first game, and the guy has a complete presence about him.
Well, he's the most expensive central defender in the world.
Yeah, but look, sometimes you have the most expensive. Doesn't always equate to what you want. But I think it was very calculated by Klopp, who doesn't always go out and spend big money on players. So he said, "This is the guy I want," and more importantly, Van Dijk said, "This is the club I want." And since he's come in, you have the balance.
Who doesn't want to go to Liverpool?
Yes, I agree.
So Van Dijk, so before Van Dijk showed up, if you remember all the sort of the press and the pundits and the bloggers and writers and whatever, like Liverpool have a very bad defense. They've got a very bad goalkeeper. Almost 2 weeks after Van Dijk showed up, suddenly it's like, no, Liverpool's defense is not bad. I mean, Lovren was a scapegoat for a lot of critics. Now if you look at his stats, his clearances are up. His times tackles are up. Everything is up. He's actually not he's become a very good player. And on top of that, now is there anyone questioning the goalkeeping situation in Liverpool? Like 6 months ago, people were like, we need a new goalkeeper. Now, not so much. Don't you think that's part and parcel of having someone like Van Dijk? Look, everyone around him gets better.
Look, it helps. I've covered the Bundesliga for 4 years. I said Loris Karius was a very good goalkeeper when they signed him. But in England, you know how it is. No disrespect to the pundits that work in England, but they don't watch leagues outside. So the minute Karius comes in, who is he? You got to sign a big name goalkeeper. It's always funny to me because it comes from pundits who are youth team products themselves who work their way in. And how can you say just go buy a player? Let him come along. So Karius is benefiting from a run of games now.
So let's get back to actual Champions League. Okay, up against Roma. Okay, so the thing that I've been saying is that Liverpool have gotten this far with Salah. Roma have gotten this far without it.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. So what's your take on the actual match against Roma? I mean, it's not going to be easy.
No, not at all. Well, first of all, your point is great because 4 or 5 months ago, everybody told you Liverpool went as Philippe Coutinho went. And he's gone. So sometimes I think we put too much emphasis on the star. I think you have a manager at Liverpool who puts more emphasis on the collective as a group. If we all do our jobs, Pochettino does the same at Spurs. I think De Francesco at Roma does exactly the same as well. So I think Roma have invested well. They brought in Monchi, who's an incredible eye for talent. This is a team. The pundits forget about this as well. They say, "Oh, Roma, the easy draw," and I'm going, "Hang on,
no way!
Did you just see them beat Barcelona 3-0? And it could have been more."
100%.
And if you go back to the first leg, they were very unlucky in the first leg against Barcelona because they had large spells in that game. They probably should have had a penalty in that game as well. So it wasn't a 4-1 game the first game. It absolutely was a 3-0 game in the second. So anybody who overlooks Roma, I think has been silly. They're in the
Dzeko on a roll, 20 goals in the league,
you know what I mean?
6 goals in the Champions League.
I mean, he totally dominated their defense. They were scared of him. He didn't lose one header. And you get confident when you see centre back get scared because all of a sudden you've got him in your pocket. It's an easy game.
They have great players. I said it. Florenzi, Shaarawy, and Shaarawy's coming off the bench. So Fiorenti.
Manolas might have picked up an injury today, which would be a big blow for them because defensively, the way they play with a back three, I think he's very important.
And he was the one that scored the final.
What an incredible moment, right?
Exactly,
one of my good friends, Paul Rogers, runs their social media. He started out with Liverpool, went to Roma, so we're calling this the Paul Rogers matchup. I'll be at Anfield next week.
That was the switch.
I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think two great clubs, two great traditions in Europe. They have a history in Europe because of the '84 final. This over 2 legs is going to be very tight.
It's a 50-50 for me.
Well, Liverpool, the 3 teams in the last 4, Liverpool have beaten in finals of certain. So historically, you're there.
I hope someone's listening to you right now.
Let's talk about the other matchup because you're a Bundesliga guy.
Yes.
Right? We'll talk about Bayern Munich. Is it Henke?
Heinkes. Yeah.
Heinkes is not a slouch either. People dismissing him as well as a manager.
Never.
This is the guy that won Champions League with Real Madrid.
Yeah, won it with Bayern last time out.
Yeah, and
retired. Now he's back.
5 times with Bayern. What's your take on Bayern Munich's chances?
I think they're the favourites. I think
for the whole thing.
For the whole thing. Yeah.
Wow.
I've covered them all year.
Why'd you say that?
they have a big squad, and they already won the title last week, and we saw this under Pep over
They walked
years.
it.
Yeah, they walked it, but the manner that they continue to play the highlight, that's tough for them. You got to imagine you're 20 points clear, and you're still they won 5-1 yesterday against Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are no slouch. They're a good team. Because they have such a good squad. Heinkes is an incredible leader. He balances the fact of managing the minutes of Robin, Ribery, who still play at a very high level.
Definitely.
You have younger players like Thiago, who has the potential to be the best midfielder in European football. And defensively, they have Hummels, Zule, and Boateng, who are going to be the centerpieces for Germany going through in the World Cup. So anybody, and Kimmich has been the best right back, arguably in Europe this year. So all these other people that you watch on the periphery of things, you say Real Madrid, they have the big names. Don't rule out Real Madrid. They only lost last year for me against Real Madrid because they lost Lewandowski in one of the matches through injury. Now he's fit, now he's ready to go. Bayern Munich are going to be the favourites.
Well, you got Vidal.
Well, I'm just saying, the manager of Bayern Munich, he actually as a player took Borussia Mönchengladbach all the way to the semis. I think in the 78 Champions League, and he lost in the semi-finals. Do you know which team?
Liverpool. Didn't they lose in the final?
So he's got something to actually sort of do
Let me
himself.
ask you something. Because we were talking about it last week. I think Bayern Munich, for the amount of domination they have in the Bundesliga, are kind of weak in the Champions League. They should be in the final more. It's as though winning the Bundesliga is enough for them. I mean, they were celebrating really hard for winning it, but that's not really a challenge for them anymore.
Look, it's a tough competition. I mean, I think you can go back 3 or 4 years now without, or 2 or 3 years since Barcelona were in the final. Real Madrid, before this dominant spell, had gone an awful long time. So, you know, Pep Guardiola made a comment this weekend. He said it's a cup competition. It's 7 or 8 games. So it's about hitting form at the right time. Last year they went out after extra time to Real Madrid. So they were there or thereabouts. And yeah, look, over the last few years since Heinkes left in 2013 when they did win Champions League, they've gone out probably a little bit more cheaply than they would have liked under Guardiola and Ancelotti. But I think every year they're a team that if your team draws them, you go, that's going to be tough.
So Keith, I want to ask you, I don't want to put you on the spot, but who are you looking at the 2 teams in the final? Did I just put you on the spot?
Yeah, you did.
Right.
Yeah, when someone says, I'm not going to put you on the spot.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
It's like when someone says, with all due respect, they're going to say something that probably
with
shows
all
no
due
respect.
I'm not going to give you any, but I'm going to give...
That's a tough one. Look, I think Liverpool should be considered slight favourites against Roma.
Maybe. Only because of Salah.
Yeah, I mean, it's... What a season.
Yeah, amazing.
And the fact that I'm going to be there next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to give the edge in any way.
Were there other teams who tried to gain his services when he left Roma, or was Liverpool the only guy in the horse?
I think Liverpool were in very early on. He wanted to come back to the Premier League. He felt like he had a point to prove. So I think Liverpool was pretty much it. Manchester City had gone, obviously, in different ways. Manchester United had Jose Mourinho, who's a manager. Probably wouldn't appeal to Mo Salah for obvious reasons. Yeah. But yeah, I think Liverpool, look, and again, nobody predicted this season. Nobody.
But he's a quality player regardless.
Yeah.
No. I mean, listen, nobody predicted that Liverpool would be this far without Coutinho in it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
now he's sitting on the bench.
I was back in December, and look, the fact that Klopp was saying, look, I'm fine with him leaving in January too, tells you what he thought of the rest of the squad. And sometimes addition by subtraction. That's no. Coutinho was a great guy in the dressing room. The players loved him, but he felt like, I'm trusting Oxlade-Chamberlain, I'm trusting Ronaldo, other midfielders. But long-winded answer. Going back to your question, I think Liverpool should be considered favourites. Yeah. I will go on Liverpool, not because I've covered Man United, I've covered Arsenal. I can take the Liverpool hat off for a second. On the other side, I do think Bayern Munich. I thought we saw the flashes of frailty in that Real Madrid side against Juventus. I think Juventus had their foot on their neck. Bayern Munich won't let off if that happens.
Well, let me ask you, Keith. I didn't give a lot of credit to Jurgen Klopp, but I think he has a great IQ, great coach's IQ. But other than him being such a great leader, we talk about Roman Torres being such a great leader on the field for Seattle. Who do you think has been the leader in the Liverpool dressing room to bring him up to the level they've been playing in the last couple of months?
Another guy I've dealt with the last 4 or 5 summers. I know Van Dijk coming in, he brings a leadership, but Jordan Henderson is amazing. To walk in, and Klopp said it he said, "Who you doing next?" 2 years ago when he came in. I said, "Jordan." And he went, "Wow, what a great guy."
You know, when he first came to Liverpool, people were like slaying him, saying, "Oh, Henderson's rubbish, you should ship him." But the EPL is such a tough league that it takes you a while to adapt to its requirements. You know, he's the England captain now. That's not a joke.
Look, to take a captain's armband after Steven Gerrard had it, it's always difficult to follow the man, the king of Liverpool.
That's true.
You're around Jordan. He's incredibly level. He's so committed to being better every week. His teammates love him. He's a top quality.
Is he going to be the guy for England to
The England one's always hard for me because every time it's like we go through a cycle with England. England fans were bad, we're terrible, we're awful. Oh, we just beat somebody. We could win the World Cup. I'm not that Irish guy that hates watching England play because there's so many great players that we support every week. But there's something missing, isn't there? Every time, and I don't.
Leader.
This is the first time they've played without that golden generation, like Rooney, Gerrard, Lampard, going all the way back to 2002. They've always had someone. I think it's a good thing. Now young players go, this is our time, and hopefully that works for them. The group they should get out of.
Definitely.
Yeah. So listen, I'm gonna put it on camera right now. We're doing football, the football show. We're gonna talk about more football. I'm gonna invite you back on another show. Will you come on?
Ball. Well, I mean,
will you be back in? We'll talk about England. We'll talk about everything else. We're gonna go ahead and I want to just say this food was excellent.
Very good. Yes. 100%.
There was nothing on these plates that I wasn't gonna devour. I gotta tell you guys, if you're in the Santa Monica area, you need to come over here to O'Brien's. Every item on these plates was second to none. There was nothing out of place. There was no flavor that you didn't want to have. It was fantastic. Look at this, Willie's back. What is this, Willie?
What is this?
Willie, this is the icing on the cake, isn't it?
This is your daily dose of iron and calcium.
What do we have here, Willie?
It's a Guinness float.
It's a Guinness float. You know, my mum used to give me when I was like 3 years old.
No
My mum
fucking no wonder.
What kind of mother did you have?
Probably the same as yours. You know, give us Guinness.
I know you're going to get stuck into that.
All right.
I'm sure he's going to give us a 2 more.
Oh, here we go. Thanks, Willie.
Thank you.
Guys, this is a Guinness float.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if a lot of Irish people know about this, but this is how Americans were first introduced to Guinness back in the day. When I first came to America, Keith.
They put it in the kids' ice cream?
No, I tell you, they had to. But when I first came to America, there was no Guinness around.
Yeah.
All right? Listen, let's go back to like 1989, right? You'd go and go, give me a Guinness. Like, you'd have to go to a pub. You couldn't go to a liquor store, right? So the guy who owned the liquor store down the street, I said, listen, I need to get some Guinness. And he goes, dude, you're 16. What are you talking about? I can't say, listen, just buy me some Guinness, all right? He goes, give me 4. He goes, I can't just order 4 Guinness from Dublin. I need 4 cases. So we would, as a 16-year-old, I would buy 4 cases, and I would say, listen, just bring them, and I'll just come and buy them one at a time. And we did it. And one day I gave this I said, listen, why don't you crack one open and let's have one, because you've never had one. Yeah. How does a liquor store owner not ever have a Guinness? Yeah. So he goes,
the license away.
Yeah. So he saw this little dark concoction in front of me, and he goes, I can't drink. This is too dark. I go, listen, put some vanilla ice cream in it, and drink it like a float. And he did it, and he became a Guinness fan. This is what we have today. Keith, what are you up to lately? What's going on? Where can we see you? What can we see you in?
It's busy couple of weekends coming up in Bundesliga. Yes, the title's over, but still a lot more to play for in that on Fox Sports, obviously, and Europa League. I'll be calling the Arsenal Atletico Madrid, which I think is a game over the last couple of years we could have quite easily seen in Champions League as well.
Definitely.
So the fact that Arsenal have potential, they can't make top 4 now, so this is their only avenue into Champions League next year. This could be the future of Arsene Wenger. So 2 games on FS1, and this summer obviously we have the World Cup on Fox.
Amazing.
And I'll be covering a lot of the MLS games throughout the World Cup, travelling to Atlanta and obviously with Seattle as well. So it's a busy summer, but there used to be an off season in our sport. There's no off season.
Are you going to be covering all the tours coming in the summer as well?
Yeah, look, I know Liverpool are going to be on the East Coast, so I'll make sure I'm somewhere out in that direction.
Pack me in your bag so with you or something?
Yeah, hopefully it's a celebratory tour as well.
So, obviously you're a big guy with the Bundesliga. You know a lot about it, right? We have an American guy in the Bundesliga, right? What's your take on him?
I think Christian Pulisic is a top level player. You see how strongly he played. He was the one trying to get Dortmund going forward. He's 19 years of age. The expectations are high. I think as a top player you want it that way. And the level he's playing at already, it's really a bright future for him at club and international level. I know a lot of people have said maybe he moves at the end of the year. I would like him to stay 1 more year at Dortmund.
Well, why do you say that? Because I would love to see him with his old manager.
Yeah, and I do know that's a possibility. But look, I think if you're Pulisic, when you're making those decisions, you want to conquer the level you're at first,
right,
and then move on. And I think he's done really well, but there's a little bit more in him in Bundesliga. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists this season.
Yeah.
Next season, I would expect him to be there or thereabouts with double figures in both. A little bit like Julian Brandt at Leverkusen, who's in the German squad, a player who's continued to develop, made the right decisions in terms of staying with Leverkusen. Pulisic does that, and they're in the Champions League again. Watch this kid grow, and look, I'm so disappointed he misses the World Cup, as we all are, but he's going to learn from it. He's going to grow in the next World Cup. He's going to be real.
Is he the future of American soccer?
He's one of many. I think Tyler Adams at New York is a very good. Christian Roldan at Seattle, I think, is excellent.
Yeah.
And I think Weston McKennie, who did win today in the Revere Derby, on the other side for Schalke, I met this guy. He's incredible personality. He can boss in midfield. So those kind of players are the future. And look, I still think Bradley has a lot to offer, Josie Altidore, but bringing those young players through as you look 4 years down the road is going to be important for the US.
Tell me, so again, you're doing Bundesliga, Liverpool,
Europa League. I'll be at Liverpool next week at that first leg.
What are you going to be doing in Liverpool? What are you going to do at Anfield?
I'll be doing sidelines. So the plan is to have Jamie Carragher pre-game. That's the plan. Hopefully that works out, and then I obviously get to meet up with some friends when I'm there, and
all right.
we'll have discussions in similar settings after the game, I'm sure.
All right. Folks, we're sitting here at O'Brien's in Santa Monica with our very special guest Keith Costigan. Yes, I've been drinking this. Keith Costigan from Fox Soccer, from Liverpool, from the Bundesliga, from all the good stuff. Keith, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Alexi, Harry.
Cheers.
Keith Costigan.
Pleasure.
I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot. Anytime.
Definitely come back again, mate.
Yes. With all this food, you're guaranteed to come back.
Cheers, guys. Hey, guys, I got to do a quick shout out to our sponsor, Pro Soccer. For all your soccer needs, go to prosoccer.com. Pro Soccer is a store in Pasadena. They have all your soccer needs. You go over there, you buy jerseys, buy shirts, buy shorts, whatever you need at that point. Or if you can go online to prosoccer.com, you can type in FoodBall for a percentage off, 10%. Don't forget to subscribe.